But much like those ancient Mayan prophecies would predict, the beginning of the end for this franchise came in 2012 when 343 Industries acquired the rights to it from Bungie. Halo Infinite fans are understandably polarized by the third-person mode, with some expressing excitement about the novel feature and pledging to return to the game when 343 makes it available. Meanwhile, detractors argue that the third-person mode makes Halo Infinite look like Fortnite, and it isn't the best use of the studio's resources. This entire change of direction feels like some corporate suit sitting in a boardroom saying, "Well, the kids love Fortnite, so let's give them more Fortnite." Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to the Hard Light Network. For as long as I can remember, Halo has been a popular, nearly sacred title in the library of many gamers. And for those of you who've been following my channel, you know that I've personally been a lifelong fan. There is a plethora of supporting media for this franchise, including animated films, books, and even the incredibly popular fan series Red vs. Blue. But much like those ancient Mayan prophecies would predict, the beginning of the end for this franchise came in 2012 when 343 Industries acquired the rights to it from Bungie. And like many other fans of the series, I knew that the writing was on the wall with the end of Reach. Many of us were skeptical that any other developer would be as faithful to his roots as its own creator, Bungie. And with the release of Halo Infinite, those fears were confirmed for even more. The introduction of the live service model to the franchise by developer 343 Industries, now rebranded as Halo Studios, fundamentally changed the way the game would be played forever. Halo Infinite was supposed to be a series return to form, however the developers botched the launch, which quickly led to a sharp decline in player retention.
Gentlemen! There's a solution here you're not seeing.
Longtime players were left angry, confused, and dissatisfied when the game launched without a co-op campaign or the Forge. Both core parts of the Halo experience that developers promised to launch in 3 to 6 months, but which wouldn't actually be delivered until a year later. Halo Infinite proved to be just another microtransaction-heavy, incomplete title that launched with a Halo veneer. After the absolute dumpster fire that was the beginning of this game's life cycle, developers needed a fresh new idea to re-attract players to the IP. Which brings us to the point of this video, where about a week ago, developers announced that they'd be introducing a third-person camera to the game in November of 2024. Quote, 343 Industries has announced that a third-person mode is coming to Halo Infinite next month. Branded as a new way to play, this third-person mode is a big step not just for Halo Infinite, but for the entire franchise, since first-person gameplay has always been a pillar of the Halo series. Halo Infinite garnered a healthy amount of popularity back when it launched in December 2021, managing a peak of over 250,000 Steam players and ranking highly among the most played Xbox games. It was even discovered late last year that Halo Infinite had accrued over 30 million unique players, but concurrent player counts told a different story. After its initial popularity wore off, Halo Infinite's active player base took a nosedive due to its long list of missing modes and features such as split-screen co-op, Forge, and more. 343's Industries added a lot of them over time, but they haven't done much to pump up the numbers. And this is honestly one of my biggest problems with live service games as a whole. Contrary to traditional non-live games, there is no expectation that a live service title will ship as a fully complete product. And while this isn't necessarily a problem in and of itself, as long as the developer is able to deliver on substantive changes to the game's gameplay and narrative, like in the case of Fortnite, problems begin to arise when we see developers attempting to drip feed modes that should have been available at launch after the fact, as is the case with Halo Infinite. And these problems only compound when, for whatever reason, the developers aren't able to deliver on these features in a timely manner. Ahead of the 2024 Halo World Championship, recent leaks suggest that 3 new weapons may be added to Halo Infinite's multiplayer soon. Now, it seems, the studio is implementing more radical methods to get players interested in Halo Infinite again. A recent post from 343's official Twitter account revealed a third-person mode for Halo Infinite via a minute-long gameplay trailer. Third-person modes for Halo games were previously only achievable by way of mods, so this is a bit of a paradigm shift for the Halo series, which cut its teeth on first-person gameplay and has never featured third-person perspectives aside from the transitions when players man a turret or vehicles. Halo Infinite fans are understandably polarized by the third-person mode, with some expressing excitement about the novel feature and pledging to return to the game when 343 makes it available. Meanwhile, detractors argue that the third-person mode makes Halo Infinite look like Fortnite, and it isn't the best use of the studio's resources. While this argument can be stretched out endlessly, the new mode is at least good news for players who have been requesting a third-person perspective for a long time. 343's tweet didn't reveal a lot of details, but did confirm that Halo Infinite's third-person mode will debut in November 2024. So here in a second, I'll show you guys the footage of the third-person view mode, and we'll also do a side-by-side comparison to Fortnite to see just how accurate these claims are. But first, I just wanted to say that I think it's pretty interesting that the Halo Studios team has adopted the Bethesda method of producing games, which is to say releasing an unfinished product and letting the modders fix it. And to be fair, they aren't the only companies out there making mods official through patches, but I have mixed feelings about the practice overall. On the one hand, it's awesome to see these companies actually engaging with their community for once and elevating the content that's created by their fans. As a game developer, cultivating a strong modding community is probably one of the best practices you can do for the longevity of your game. Not only are these superfans increasing their own playtime by adding their own custom content, but they're encouraging others to engage with the product for longer as well. It really is a win-win situation because not only do gamers get more fun out of their favorite games, but developers get to see what works and what doesn't, and potentially add these as full-blown features in later developments. The flip side of this coin is that, like we see with Bethesda, sometimes these developers will rely a little too heavily on their modding community to fix the problems with their games. It shouldn't fall to your fan base to have to fix bugs in your code or add quality of life improvements to your game. I know it's kind of a side tangent, but Halo Studios really owes a lot to its modding community for keeping people interested in the game over these last few years. Even as I'm producing this video now, the modding team known as the Forge Falcons is gearing up to release their massive new mod for Halo Infinite. This entirely free-to-play mod will add a completely new PvE mode to the game, based on the in-universe ODST and heavily based on the gameplay of Helldivers 2. This PvE mode will add hours of gameplay to Halo Infinite. And though this is an incredibly amazing achievement working within the confines of the Forge system, I think this will only serve to push the series further down the live service rabbit hole. That being said, congratulations to the Forge Falcons for an awesome achievement, and let's check out this third-person mode to see what all the fuss is about. So first of all, it's not to my taste, but I can see how this comes down to an issue of personal preference. In third-person mode, the game looks like a combination of Fortnite and Overwatch. Mechanically speaking, the gameplay looks smooth and engaging enough, and I'm sure with 24 players in a match, it's actually pretty fun, but visually speaking, all the colors on screen just look garish. You can tell that the Fortniteification is definitely real, and just to be sure, let's throw up a side-by-side for quick comparison. First off, let me just say thank you to Noxzilla for providing the Fortnite gameplay with the Master Chief skin. Honestly guys, I gotta say, this is a devastating comparison. Just look at how similar the gameplay is. Don't get me wrong guys, I know there's bound to be a certain level of overlap with the visuals, given that there are only so many ways that you can rig a 3D model to jump, shoot, and swing a melee weapon, but this is a little ridiculous. To tell you the truth, if you didn't already know these two games were made on completely different game engines, it'd be hard to tell just by looking at them. And to tell you the truth, as an OG Halo fan, this feels like a fall from grace.
Look how they massacred my boy.
I'm sure that Halo Studios thought that the live service model was going to save the franchise, but from where I'm sitting, it looks like it did the exact opposite. And I genuinely don't think that shoehorning in a third-person mode in the 11th hour is going to save the franchise from these abysmal performance numbers. And in much the same way, I don't feel like slapping a new coat of paint on this franchise through Unreal Engine 5 and reviving Master Chief is going to do much good either.
Wolverine.
You're damn straight it is. Disney brought him back. They're gonna make him do this till he's 90.
Listen, I know this video has probably come across like me just dumping all over Halo Infinite, but I honestly don't want it to be that way. It just seems to me like Halo Studios was enticed by the live service business model and they're paying the price for it now. However, rather than going back to their roots and giving players what they want, it feels like they're turning the game into a Fortnite clone in an attempt to emulate some of its success. But ultimately, it just ends up feeling like a waste of energy because if I wanted to play Fortnite, I would just play Fortnite. Hell, like I showed in the comparison video, you can already buy a Master Chief skin for Fortnite. So what could Halo Infinite possibly offer that Fortnite doesn't already deliver on in better ways? Halo Studios is compromising on what made Halo unique in the first place in order to cater to an audience that doesn't want what they're selling. In another grievous incident of a company cutting off its nose to spite its face, Halo Infinite has been tanked and it's the fans that suffer for it. This entire change of direction feels like some corporate suit sitting in a boardroom saying, "Well, the kids love Fortnite, so let's give them more Fortnite." It's a horrendous tragedy and truly one of the greatest anime betrayals of 2024. And what's genuinely sad about this entire thing is that the fan base wants to love Halo. They want to be excited about this move to Unreal Engine 5, and they really desperately want to recapture the feeling from the original series. But instead, these greedy and out-of-touch corpos are selling you cat ears for $9.99. In closing, as a lifelong fan, it genuinely just pains me to see that we went from this to this. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to support the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please also let me know what you think in the comments section. Are you an older fan or a newer fan? Do you agree or disagree with what I've said here? Are you like me, where you're a fan of the franchise and you want to see it succeed, but you're just not interested in continuing to encourage this bad behavior by patronizing this company? Either way, I'd love to hear from you down below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like, and until next time, love you guys, safe travels.